I think Rasha Abedin is there in the room. She can start. And the other guys, now I will be in contact. He told me soon he will join.
Great.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Rasha.
Hello, good evening, Doctor. It's a great pleasure for me to be part of this great conference. And I'm really thankful for you to be a speaker in such a great conference. I'll start with my presentation. Okay. As a start, AI is being a revolution in many fields. We believe that AI is important and it's not just a trend, but it has been in different industries. And here in Style with I, we are planning to make a revolution through AI technologies in the fashion industry itself. Imagine that you want to have an occasion and you want to be in the best fit and the best image of you. And at the same time, you don't know how to go forward on that. And you need some guidance and the stylist professional advice. At the same time, imagine that you are a busy person and you don't have that much of time to go to the mall and spend that time in searching for your best outfit. You are undecided of what you have to choose, and at the same time, it's taking you a lot of time to get into the best outfit that matches you. Or there is some circumstances that hinders you from going to the mall itself, such as the period of Corona that we have all faced. Many people understood now that the image that you have is the most important thing that people consider as the first impression that they'll get from you. So basically, fashion is important. At the same time, AI is empowering fashion industry, and this is the application that we are talking about here, where style meets innovation. Style with I application. I'll start talking about it. It's not just an application that is. It's a unique application. It's a comprehensive full package application that is based on AI technologies. The idea of our company and application is based on two technologies. It is a chatbot technology and the AR and augmented reality or generative AI. It will make our life much easier. It will empower individuals and as well retailers in their journey, in their shopping experience. It will be the first platform in the region that will provide a full package of a personalized and highly interactive shopping experience. So why did we come with this application? We have noticed and from our research and studies that were based on McKinsey reports and Business of Fashion journal, that there are several challenges that whether online shoppers or physical even shoppers in the malls face. First of all are the need for a personal stylist, where image is important and how you appear to others is really important. And many people, they are in doubt of what matches me, or what is the best for me, or what is even the latest trends in the market or in the fashion industry. So basically is the need for personal stylist. The size fit concerns. Online shoppers, they enjoy searching and looking for different items in the web or in the website itself and the different online platforms. However, they face disappointments and dissatisfaction with the size and fit concerns. How many times did you try buying something online and at the end you end up dissatisfied with what you get? Many of us. And it's sometimes difficult to return these items. Also, we can notice that the fast rhythm, the life rhythm that we have, is also a trigger for us that we need such an application to be there, where we can save time and save time and I get the best advice, stylist advice. This is a report and capturing a report from UAE and United Arab Emirates and from Saudi Arabia. We can notice that the best challenge for customers is the size fit concerns and the difficult to return the process, and also sometimes the absence of content in Arabic. It's important here in the region that sometimes we need some customization of the features that we have. So after this, illustrating these problems and challenges, we came up with a platform that is based on generative AI. It is based on a chatbot that will play a role where it will be your stylist, personal assistant, based on machine learning algorithms and generative AI, and at the same time will give you the best results that will fit your body type, size, skin color, and will also match with the fashion trends in the market, the latest trends in the market, with some customization with our taste in the region, if we can say that. It will be something that something that we can customize it in a way. This platform is a user-friendly and easy-to-use platform. It's unique and it gives you an excellent experience by bridging the gap between virtual and physical shopping. Also, why we see it as a unique and comprehensive package is it's not some of the applications, maybe you can find them having a chatbot assistant, but we have the final phase, which is the virtual try-on with augmented reality, where you can scan your body and at the same time check whether the outfits that has been chosen for you are matching your size and are the best fit for you. It also give you some size and style recommendation based on the previous search that you have done, and the recommendations of your favorite or the best your favorite, for example, let's say outfit, based on certain algorithms. It can work on that, and it will match it with the latest trends in the fashion industry. The opportunities and strengths that we have as entrepreneurs, we have some challenges, and but we believe in this application, and that it will make a revolution, not as I mentioned in the individual level, individual customers, but also in retailers and malls and in the retail industry, not only in the region but worldwide. It will make a totally different shopping experience for everyone. How we started with the e-commerce and with online shopping, we believe that Style with I will be the starting point and the first step for this revolution in the retail industry. It will totally change the mindset of everyone of how to shop and how to go online and how to purchase your fashion, or even not only by clothing. We will combine it with other things like accessories, makeup. This is what we are planning to do. So it's an opportunity and strength. Listing now the opportunities and strength. We noticed through different research studies also from McKinsey, that there is a market demand in the region, especially in the Middle East. It's based on this study that in this region there is a need and there is a demand. It's the fashion industry is a billion dollar industry that is constantly evolving. So there is a demand in the market, and there is the people are aware about how the image is important and the fashion is important. There is also the change in customer behavior. In addition to that, customers in the GCC countries, they are spending more in the luxury items more than any other items. Also, the supportive ecosystem that we have here, and being number one in your field is a challenge for some people, but an opportunity for us. We believe that being the first mover in any field is the best thing to do. And we want to do that. We want to be the first mover and to take the first step in this field where we combine fashion and AI and have it as a comprehensive and full package. Also, we believe that we have a talented team. The competent team that we have can make this journey and this application possible. The secret behind our success is the teamwork and professionalism that we have. And our founder, Umayma Al-Halabi, she has combined both fields. She has her experience in fashion, and as well, she has her degree in AI and experience, and she combined both fields in a fantastic way, where she applied all her knowledge and experience. Knowledge and experience in this application. Also, the development team that we have that joined our company is one of the best development teams that has several success stories in the AI field, and they assured us that it is doable and it's possible to do it, and it's and the most important thing also that our marketing core consultant, Mr. Davish, and his professional team, who are they are working on that. So we are working together on making it possible and to have a successful application that will revolutionize the retail industry. Style with I, our mission is to be the pioneer to revolutionize the fashion retail industry and to succeed in that. Thank you again for allowing me to be in the conference and to be a speaker, and it's a great pleasure for me to be part of this conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Rasha. Thank you. That was great. And next, you said we're going to Dr.Aziz al-Khanin, I believe.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Let me first share my screen. I know you're running a little bit late, so I'll try to stick on time. So, okay, hold on a second. Sorry. So yes, I'll share my screen at the moment. Sorry. So are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, good. So first of all, thank you, Dr. Hanadi Mbaraki, for inviting me to this conference, and also I thank for the organizing committee for doing such an excellent job in gathering these wonderful speakers. I learned a lot from watching or listening to the speakers yesterday and today, with all this IA technology and things on economy and everything. But now we're going to shift a little bit of our talk a little bit about something which might affect the health of the individual, and something that people sometimes suffer from. So I'll after a long day of hard work and activities and listening to interesting lecture, people are wanting to have a time to rest. And in a human, they are in time of sleep, because sleep not only just reboost your energy, and but give you time to grow mentally and physically. Any interruption in the sleep pattern will lead to problems, either mobility or mortality level. So we'll just start with a brief introduction about sleep and how it will and what's the physiology of it before we go to the disturbance that could happen to it, and what's the innovation that we can do to make this sleep a better experience. So sleep is a time for resting of the mind, and where you can get your clock rewinded. It's that's a definition of sleep. It's as a physiology of sleep. Usually, adults need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Mostly, that's a common knowledge for everyone. How about? But sleep usually comes in different cycles. So it goes from REM sleep to non-REM sleep, and we can further elaborate on the types of non-REM sleep as well, because these cycles where the body gets a little bit of rest and then goes into deep sleep and then goes to REM sleep and then go back to wakeness. So the stages of sleep can be categorized into 4 stages plus the REM stage. So in the first stage would be falling off sleep, where you just feel lightheaded and you just close your eyes and try to get into this mechanism of sleeping. And then your heart rate gets slowed down, and then body temperature drop down. And then you get to this deep sleep level, which is stage 3 and 4, where your muscle and tissue get repaired. And that's the time where growth hormone is exerted. Growth hormone is just not for young individual to grow bigger or in terms of size, but also for adults to repair their cells and regenerate their cells as well. Now REM sleep, which is that's the time of the body where it's totally go into relaxation mode, and that's where the dreams happen. And if you look at dreams, that's the part which is maybe related to technology. That if you think of REM sleep, it's like the RAM on the PC. So it's the body wants to empty its RAM in order to get refreshed for the second day. So because if it's accumulated more information and that RAM, it will stop functioning and it will be disturbed. So the REM sleep day is the place where it empty all the information in a way of the dreams that we have, and then to start refresh for the other day. Now, unfortunately, REM sleep starts very high as younger individual, but tend to decline as you get older. So the infants is quite high percentage of REM sleep, but when it goes to children and then adults, it becomes less and less. So one of the major problems that happen with this sleep is something we call sleep apnea syndrome, where there is a disturbance in the oxygen level that comes to the body because there is kind of an obstruction happening. So it's a sleep-related breathing disorder where they decrease of the airflow to the body, and basically that's interfere with our repair cycle, as we said in the stage 4, and also interfere with our physical function. So for brain to function, it needs an oxygen certain level to do, and also the other cell needs. So this sleep apnea happen, which leads to this kind of phenomena. Now, what's happened is that there are types of sleep apnea. One of them is central, and that's because the medulla in the brain, which is responsible for the breathing system, have dysfunction. So the breathing stops or ceases for quite a while, and that will disturb the body. And then we have peripheral type of sleep apnea, which is the major part of sleep apnea, and that's where a blockage in the airway happen because of the certain obstacle or the cervical anatomical feature in the airway, which led to this kind of problem. So if it's the season of oxygen in like 5-second interval, we call it an apnea. If it's less than that, it will cause hypopnea, and it's more in 10-second interval. So with this, when we can get an index of it, we can evaluate the type of peripheral apnea or obstructive sleep apnea. So it will be 5 to 15 would be a mild kind of apnea, and then if it's moderate, it will be 15 to 30, and then above that would be like 30%. So sometimes the peripheral apnea could go to a central apnea, and that will be a mix of. So what happens usually? So what happens is that most of the people, they sleep on their back, and so they lie flat. So what happens is the gravity kicks in, and then you have a narrow airway, and as you get into deeper sleep, your muscle will relax, and then the airway will be completely blocked. As you can see, that the airway have some kind of narrowing here, but it's when it's completely patient and relaxed, so it's the blocks completely by the tongue, and the lower jaw, or as we call the mandible, go back and block the airway. So what's the prevalence? I mean, is it something common or something which rarely happen? Well, it's actually becoming more and more common, unfortunately. It's affected actually all race by any kind. You can see the number of studies I gathered here. It's like affecting from the US to Europe to Asia, and also here in GCC countries. So it's basically it's mostly affecting male and female by a ratio of 2 to 1, and it's actually we can see that in country where you have like increased body weight, you can have incident of more sleep apnea, but the prevalence is between 5% up to 10% in most of the people, in most of the population, and it's like 10% of the population are affected with some kind of sleep apnea. Okay, so when we say to the age, unfortunately, it goes worse as you get older. So as you get older, your structure gets weaker, so it cannot hold a problem that is, I mean, narrow airways, so it's becoming collapse, and that's what happened as you get older. You can see the increase in prevalence, especially among male, more than females actually, and more with age. So what's the signs that you know that you would say it would be as you consider? There are a number of signs, mostly the high BMI. If you have a large tongue, neck circumference, or hypertension, is always a problem that can indicate the person having a high sleep apnea. Now, when it comes to how do we diagnose it? We diagnose it by certain questionnaires, and there is abundance of questionnaires that we can diagnose it with. These are example of it. So that's the first initial type, but also we can, by visiting a doctor, you will be able to really know how to do that. So these are the way that we do it in the clinic by seeing the patient's narrow airways, and that's called melanompathy technique, where we can see how the airway is narrow. You find it here; it's the more narrower parts compared to other places. But there is other more definitive way of doing, which is the portal sleep study, where you give a device to the patient at home, and then we tell him how to use it, and then we'll be able to diagnose. We also take series of X-rays. There is also the nasopharyngoscope that we use which is like a small camera that goes into the airways, and just to see how the airway, the size and everything. So that's basically a picture of the nasopharyngoscope. You can see that it's patients having a normal airway here, and then on this side over here it's becoming very narrow. So a patient with a big buildup in a structure would be breathing in a small airway like this, will gasp for air, and then would have all kinds of problems. So one of the ways as well we can know to diagnose it by using the X-rays, and that was something which is quite common, to take an X-ray to see the narrowing of the airways, and it's we call it cephalogram, with a picture of the body, and it can be in 3D as well. So it can give you a picture of the airway and how it's tight, and the certain colors indicate how narrow it is. So in green, you're safe. If it's red, it's quite narrow. So of course, there are anatomical structure we see that we know if it's a tendency for a patient to having sleep apnea. But I just want to elaborate on that, which is the hyoid bone, especially, which is this structure over here. So if it's very far from the jaw, that means it's a patient who's have a tendency to sleep apnea. The airways, as you can see, is over here. So it's very far. It's becoming more obscuring to the airway, and that's what my innovation is all about, bringing the hyoid bone away from the airway, so it's becoming the airway more bigger. So the gold standard for diagnosing of the sleep apnea is the BSG, which is like a sleep study where patients is kept at night to sleep, and then they wire him up with all of these monitors. So and then they get like a reading from a computer which is being programmed. So they will know how to come with all these numbers, and then they're analyzed, and then we can know that the patient have how many incidents of sleep apnea, how many incidents of oxygen level going down. So because if the oxygen goes below 90, you're in a quite tight situation. So these are the gold standard for monitoring of the or diagnosing of the sleep apnea. Nowadays, things are becoming easier. There are rings that you can be given to the patients, and then you would go home and you would monitor, and that would go to an application. So with this application, it will be sent to the doctor or the attending physician, and then he would know what's the reading and where the disturbance, and then be able to diagnose the patients. That's becoming more popular because arranging a sleep study in the hospital would be, time consuming and also more expensive, and there is like a waiting list for that. So as we said that sleep deprivation will lead to kind of problem, but there is all kinds of relating issue related to it, which is environmental or genetic sometimes. The structure of the airway is not developed well, or there is illness. Sometimes sleeping pill could lead to kind of sleep deprivation and also lead to hypopnea. Also, it can happen, unfortunately, in children, and these are some of the symptoms in children, but that's a different kind of field. I wouldn't go through it. I just focus on the adult mostly. So these are the criteria how we diagnose the sleep apnea by looking at the apnea index, which is have to be more than 5, and the oxygen index, which have to be more than 85. Now, the cycle of treatment would go like this. So the patient will come, we see his clinical features, we give him some questionnaires. So if we having a questionnaire with a high number, we set him up for a sleep study. If we are in doubt, we can give him a quick sleep study at home. And then if he is diagnosed with a sleep apnea, we can give him the device. If it's high, then index of above 30. If it's like below 30, then it would go for an oral appliance or maybe a surgery. These are the way that you connect the patient in the study and in the clinical or the hospital environment. The sleep center technician would do the connection, and he would monitor the patient with all of these devices. And that's the device, actually, the computer and the camera, the infrared camera that sees the patient during the night to make sure that he's not having anything, because we have to shut the lights off, and so and then the infrared camera will monitor him during that, and then the device of oxygen sometimes needs to be connected if he's gasping for air, and that's the study that comes with it. Now, the treatment option for this kind of situation is either conservative or could be more definite. So if a conservative, it's what likely to most to give a radio frequency volumetric tissue reduction or electric stimulation to the soft palate to make it away from the airway, or maybe laser tissue reduction. Sometimes they advocate putting pillars in the soft tissue to make it away from the airway and to allow air to go through passively. However, these type of options are not definite and need to be repeated. So people are not really wanting to go through repeating action, and sometimes they have a considerable amount of failure. The more defined approach is the CPAP, which is like a continuous airflow. It's like having an external lungs and an electricity that pumps air into your body. A surgical approach to correct the structure of the base, so it will allow the air to go more passively into the lungs, and that's the airway. So this is the device, and imagine this voice coming to you all the time to speak up. So the way of surgery is going on. Let me shut that down. So okay. So this surgery is an advanced surgery where you place the jaw in advanced position to keep the airway clear of the device. The other way of doing is doing a surgery to stimulate the hyoid bone electrically. So they implant this chip inside the chest, so it allows the airway to open up and the airway to flow passively. Now coming out to the oral appliance device. The oral appliance device is meant to allow the airway to clear up. So you can see that the airway is narrow, like this individual here with a narrow airway. The appliance which I came up with is an appliance that works inside the mouth. You have to wear it just during sleep, and it's basically will move the jaws forward away from the airways. So it would be the jaw will move away by this kind of device. It's have to be worn just at night time, and it's easy to adapt. And then you can see as your patient wear it, the jaw will move forward, so the airways, and that was basically happening on an X-ray. So you can see the airway is quite tight here, and it's with the appliance, it's moving. The airway is becoming more clearer, and the air is having passively, even if the patient lie down. And you can see that the patient is also going to have the airway cleared with the appliance device. And that's a picture of before and after. So this is the way of the device is placed on in the patients, and it allows the movement of the jaw in all 3 dimensions without obstruction. Of course, that appliance is working at night time, so it's not interfere with his daily activity, as talking and eating and everything. And it's actually inside the mouth, so it's not causing any disturbance outside. And that the patient's usually how he looks with the appliance in, so it's not like just a little bit buff, but nothing in particular. That's my presentation for today. So if you want to get in touch with me, I hope I stuck to the time frame. So just have me look, and if you fall asleep during the presentation, that doesn't mean that you have a sleep apnea. At least one person pay attention. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a very fascinating and interesting use of the technology here. So I believe we have a roundtable, discussion now for this this group of speakers as well as the prior ones. I know we had some people stick around. It looks like Ron Giblin, is still here, and maybe a few others. So first, because we haven't had time for questions, I just want to open and see if there are any questions to any of the speakers who are still here.
Excuse me, Dr. Arno.
Please go ahead.
Mr. Trent Simon from Switzerland is joining us, and we need to participate, and he will continue also in the other sessions. Give him some time. Hi, Trent, how are you?
I am very good. Thank you for asking.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, I guess I'll keep this first presentation super short and cover a few of the details in the next hour when I come back. Is screen sharing enabled here? Let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to start with a controversial statement, and I know that it's controversial because I uttered this statement at last year's conference and got some pushback on the concept. But the statement is that any support which anybody provides for a non-impactful entrepreneur, in many cases, makes life harder for impactful entrepreneurs. Now, the main reason that that's a controversial statement is that there's a lot of people in the world with very good intentions who are supporting entrepreneurs, and that's a great first step. And if there hasn't been entrepreneurial support in your community prior to that, it's a needed step, but it's only the first step. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to have the kind of outcomes that you're probably looking for. And this is also very true for impact investors in the Western world, who frequently you talk to them and ask, what is your impact? And they will say, we are supporting entrepreneurs in the global South and developing economies. Those entrepreneurs create jobs, so it's poverty reduction. And that is how we have a positive impact with our investments while still making a return. And that sounds good, right? I mean, that sounds like that is beneficial. And by and large, jobs that are good jobs in the global South, it is an improvement over like a job maybe from a Western corporation or a bad job. But it's no guarantee. So I just want everybody to think about that scenario for just a second. Let's say that I'm a non-impactful entrepreneur. You're an impactful entrepreneur. And by that, we mean that you are trying to have a major impact on your community or on society with your business. And I'm just here to make money. the odds are my business plan is going to look better than yours to anybody that doesn't care about the impact that either of us is having. So when I go out there and I am portraying myself as an up-and-coming business person who wants to build a business and create jobs in my community, I'm able to attract the attention of these well-intentioned impact investors who give me money. And what does that money let me do? It lets me accelerate my business, scale up, take market share that otherwise would have been split between me and you, the impactful entrepreneur. You, on the other hand, you're sitting there trying to desperately get somebody to listen to you when you're saying, no, I want to make money and I have a business plan that will be sustainable, but I also want to do some good for my community along the way. And you're getting ignored. You're getting overlooked. You're getting the scraps rather than the meat. So just want to put that thought into everybody's head. If you're actively working in the space of supporting entrepreneurs, or even if you're just a mentor, and I'm going to show you just one example, because I know that we're out of time, of how you can make that transition and it doesn't have to be a cost. It doesn't have to negatively affect your business plan. So the example that I like to use is, let's say that there is a small-time sake shop, or whatever the liquor might be, or maybe it's a specialty food store, anything of that nature. And you talk to the owner of that shop, especially if they're a startup, what's your social impact platform? They're usually going to say, no idea. I don't even know if I'm going to be successful yet. Once I start making money, then I'll worry about having an impact. But the reality is that there's a lot of ways you can be successful because of your impact. And in many economies, if there's a large percentage of conscious consumers, you're not going to be able to be successful unless you have that. Because if you don't have a strong social impact platform, you're basically just telling people, buy from me because I have a better mousetrap, or I have a better marketing plan. And sure, if you throw enough money at a marketing plan, it really doesn't matter what your product is, if it's any good or not. Through social media, you can get people to buy the crap. You don't have to really have a good product anymore to make money in the short term. So this is the scenario that we're looking at here. And this is just an example of an idea for somebody in that position, or any startup, really. Go and approach some nonprofits or other impactful businesses in your neighborhood with your offering. Do something for free for them or at cost. Because guess what? That's marketing. Instead of spending money on marketing, go do something free for somebody who's trying to also do good in the world, and they will become part of your marketing. It's a pretty simple concept. And business owners all over the world know this. Sponsoring youth sports teams is one of the go-tos. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more you can do if you engage your brain to think about how you can use your goods, your services, and your network to do some good while also making some money. And if you're not an entrepreneur and you're supporting entrepreneurs, start putting this into your framework of who you want to support. Don't base it just on their business plan. That's a nice first step, but that does not guarantee they're actually going to have a positive impact just because they make money. So if you start to make that a condition of your support, you start to say to the entrepreneurs coming to you for help, your social impact platform is not developed enough for me to feel comfortable putting my name behind your product, but there's now tools for how you can go out there and make those changes happen. There's several more slides here, all the examples. Again, I know we're out of time, so I'll just throw up one more slide on all of the different ways that you can reallocate some of your current spend. If you're spending money on any of these areas, odds are you could spend that money on a social impact project and get just as good a result in that primary category while also doing some good in the world and creating brand ambassadors, even from people who never buy your product themselves. Anybody interested in more information on this, please let me know. We offer a free webinar for this for any incubator in the world. Let us know and we'll set that up. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all next hour.
Great thanks, Trent, for your great presentation.